Hello there. This is all the Half-Life stuff that I've collected over the years. I want to say from like 1999 when I first played the game until, well, I stopped a couple of years ago because there was just too much other stuff going on. But so here is a bunch of different things. So we have obviously the original game, which is still my favorite game of all time. There's a couple of different releases of this. Now all the big box releases, these fold open with with some artwork in there. These are all US releases. So we have that for this one, which is the original release of Half-Life. We have that for Counter-Strike, which also has the fold open box art. We have that for Blue Shift, which is over here. Okay, so that also does that. I am missing Opposing Force. I used to have that. I have the UK release, but I don't have the US release of that. Then we have Initial Encounter. That's the only US release here that I have that doesn't have that. This is a sort of kind of demo version that I think had the first day, like day one, first day of Half-Life in the game, and Team Fortress Classic, which is a weird kind of promo release, but that's pretty rare at this point. Speaking of day one, I also have day one as separate discs. These got given out with a graphics card and hardware back in the day. So this is day one. This is like the first day within the game. So the first day that you experience as the protagonist. So it's kind of a demo, but it's not. And there's different releases of this. I don't know how many, but they just came in like just a sleeve like this. Then I have here for the Data 1 and 2, which is a sort of add-on CD to the original game. And this has the Half-Life demo, as well as some extra stuff here, like player models and things like that. Those came out at the release, or shortly after the release of the original game, as well as the Game of the Year edition. Speaking of Game of the Year edition, this is the English. No, this is the German language. So I lived in Germany at the time that I bought a lot of these, so you'll see a lot of like German releases, but by and large, they're all like English. This is the German language GOTY Game of the Year. Then we have, like I already said, so all the original releases. Now this is a little bit weird. What they did was they released dubbed versions, and in the case of Germany, actually cut versions. So you couldn't have any gore. So the original German language version, which is this one, it actually says German version in German, has been cut, and you're fighting robots instead of soldiers. But all the other ones are English language, UK releases or Europe releases. Now it says US version. So this is actually the English version for other markets. So in Germany, if you wanted the original dub with all the original gore and violence, you could get this one. English language box, but it has that sticker. And then this is the UK release, and then this is the same thing again, but sealed. So this still has the shrink wrap on it. In general, I think most of those weren't really taped shut. I think they came like this, where there was no sticker. So with the exception of the shrink wrap missing on some of those, they're all kind of in the original state. I think most of those actually got bought this way, because what would happen in the stores, you would just get it. They would just get them on the shelf and actually just open or like take the shrink wrap away, or already get it without shrink wrap and just put them like this. Now the US releases, all of them had tape on the top, which has been cut. I did get a lot of those from eBay, so they were already open. And we have the Adrenaline Pack, which is the European analog to that is called Generation. And we have Generation 1, which is here, Half-Life and Opposing Force, and I think TFC. And then Generation 2, which also includes Counter-Strike. And then Generation 3 is that really hideous DVD case. Here, this is the German language release, but I have it in English as well from the UK. So a little bit of a difference there. Blue Shift, again, same thing. There is the UK release, the German release, and then the dubbed, or no, uncut release. Now in this case, it has a German box, but it's an English game. Oop, this fell over. And then what we have is Half-Life 2 stuff. Now these are all sealed, as in sealed. There's no tape that's been cut or whatever, because these are quite valuable as collector's items. I think this is the UK release of collectors. This is the American tin, of course, which still has the shrink wrap on it. And then these two are still taped shut as well. This is Half-Life 2, and it has some box art, fold open. And there was 3 of those. I only have 2. I'm missing the Gordon one, but there's Alex and G-Man. We have some Team Fortress 2 key rings, which got given out at Leipzig, Germany's Games Convention back in 2007, as well as some trading cards, which got sold at the market and given out for promotional purposes at some point, but I don't think they're available anymore. So those, and then I have a lanyard here that was, I think, exclusive to the staff at the booth of TF2 at Games Convention, but I was friendly with them, so I got them. Speaking of Games Convention, I also have some Left 4 Dead t-shirts from the 2008 Games Convention, I think, and those come in L and above. I don't think they ever had medium. Maybe they had medium, I don't remember a bit. I have 2L, one of which is open. I have 2XL and 3 double XL. And no, 2 double XL. And then there is some Companion Cube stickers. There's a bunch of books here that I wouldn't really bother with. Some Left 4 Dead cards with a demo key code on it. Doesn't work anymore, obviously. And then we have Counter-Strike Global Offensive key cards, which are quite cool. They have like a sort of kind of changeable motif. This one is terrorist, counter-terrorist. I'm not sure if you can see that. It changes. And then this one has the Aztec map, and you see the old, what is it? The old version of the map, and then the remake. And speaking of CS, we also have a Counter-Strike preview DVD or CD of just Counter-Strike for Xbox, and this comes with a press release. Now, I don't know, I can't verify the veracity of this one. It's a burnt CD. I got this from eBay, so it might be complete trash, but it does have this, which has the last page missing or like ripped out. So I guess maybe somebody wanted to cover their tracks. I don't know. We have the orange box for Xbox. And this is the PAL, which is open and has been played. But the other 2 are sealed, which is NTSC, which is the American release, and NTSC-J, which is the Japanese release. And this actually has Japanese writing on it. And then the PC DVD. This is also open. I think this was sold like this. We have a bunch of standalones here of Orange Box Counter-Strike. They have a feet. Half-Life for PC, of course. And I think one of them is English and one of them is German or something. Yeah, so that's the UK release. This is the German release. Half-Life for PlayStation, which also has a cooperative campaign. See what if I'm missing something here. A patch CD that got given out by the European publisher Vivendi for a while. I don't know why. I think this is missing the original small sleeve that we had. But this is kind of really weird that they sent this around. This was before Steam. And a soundtrack CD, which again, it says Sierra Presents, but I'm not entirely sure how legit this is. This is the Counter-Strike. We never had this big box release of Counter-Strike in Europe, I don't think. So we had this jewel case, which has just CS on it, and it also says US version, but that just means it's like the English version. So like I said, all of them are in acceptable to great condition. All the Half-Life 2 stuff in the back there, all the limited edition stuff is sealed, as are some of those. The ones that aren't are basically in as bought condition. Some of the bigger US releases have been cut open, but I looked after the stuff pretty well. And some items like the TF2 stuff, you could only really get at a convention like one time only, so most of this is pretty rare. I'm wanting to sell all of this actually, so if you're interested, I'm going to be putting a link in the description on how to get in touch with me. All right, so that's all. Cool, thanks.